Hi, I'm Chantelle Singer.
And I'm Marvin Roux.
Welcome to The Journal, a show that highlights new and interesting documentaries produced by the media students of Centennial College.
Normally the show is live and we would be in studio right now, but due to COVID-19, we can't really do that.
So for the safety of ourselves and others, we recorded segments from our homes in order to continue the vital practice that is social distancing.
And with that, we hope that you enjoy this very special episode of The Journal.
Today's episode of The Journal features 5 documentaries, all produced by Centennial students.
We'll see a woman overcome her lifelong fear of dogs, the inspiring story of a refugee from Iran, and how to bake the best chocolate chip cookies.
Up first is a treat for all our animal lovers out there as we check in with the Toronto Humane Society.
I think having a cat is a wonderful addition to any family. They really are quite special and quite unique. So this is Garth, and he's 8 years old, and he was actually born into our care in 2011, adopted out, brought back, adopted out, and brought back again. So we were really looking forward to finding him his forever home permanently this time around. He is 8 years old, so has some health considerations that come with him, but we're just really hopeful that he's going to find an amazing adopter who's ready to take on a sweet, gorgeous, cuddly cat, as well as the commitments that he needs medically. So the benefit of adopting a shelter cat is that you get to give an animal who otherwise wouldn't have had a home a chance or a second opportunity at finding a home. There's something so intuitive about rescue animals as well that, you know, when they land themselves into their forever homes, they really do just start to relax and open up and develop a really, really trusting bond with their owners. So it takes a little bit more time. I'd say a benefit is that you really do feel like you've earned that bond and that trust with them, which is really incredible. So the benefit is trifold. There are so many animals that are out there that need homes. Our shelter proves it. We receive so many animals, phenomenal animals. So if you're looking for a puppy or a kitten, I still recommend go to the Toronto Humane Society first, because we definitely can supply a kitten or a puppy as well. The process can be fairly quick. So if the cat is fairly adoptable and the individual has thought through the commitment, there's not a whole lot of education that's needed. The process could be done within just an hour's time, very fast. So you can come on in, fill out a questionnaire, go through the adoption interview or conversation, and then you get to meet the lovely animal. So it is a 3-step process. Sometimes it happens in a mixed up order depending on the situation and circumstance, but it is a very simple process, very easy. We try to make it as accommodating as possible for the adopter, because we don't want to put barriers up to our animals because they are so magnificent, and we just want to find them incredible homes. There are so many benefits to having a cat. They're relatively self-sufficient in the sense that they don't require to be walked outdoors. So what's wonderful about that is you can still maintain a job and have a profession or a career while also having a lovely companion that you get to care for. Cats are also full of personality. They have different unique personalities depending on the cat. There is not just one cat fits all. They are very, very unique. Some are rambunctious, some are calm, some have a little bit of both, some are adventurous like little Garth here. We are a nonprofit organization, so any donations, any amount of help is always a fabulous way to support our animals, and you can visit us at our website www.torontohumanesociety.com if you'd like to make a monetary donation.
I know these are confusing and turbulent times, but we here at the Journal hope that those adorable cats help to brighten your day a little.
There's no better time than right now to donate to local businesses, and that includes the Toronto Humane Society, whose dedicated staff are still working round the clock to keep these animals happy and healthy.
Next up, we'll be looking at more adorable animals as we watch one woman's journey to overcome her fear of dogs.
My name is Charlotte D'Souza, and one of my biggest fears is dogs. I'm afraid of dogs because one time when I was 10 years old, I was biking down the path by the beaches, and what happened to me was that while I was biking, there was this like really big dog. I think it was like a yellow lab or something like that. It just started chasing me on the bike, and then it kind of like got hold of the tire, and I was so afraid of it was actually one of the most scary things that have ever happened to me. And then it kind of grabbed onto the bike, and I fell off the bike, and the pedal like scraped my ankle really badly. And I remember I had to go to emergency because it was so bad. And ever since that day, I've been associating dogs with what happened to me. And yeah, it kind of really affected me. Today, I have issues going over to my friends' houses when they have dogs. And so it makes it like they always have to come to my house, or we have to go somewhere where there aren't dogs, because even when there are dogs on the street, I feel like I have to like cross the street depending on the dog, or at least keep a safe distance away from dogs. Also, one time like I was gonna date this guy, and then I also found out he had a dog, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I can do that, because then like, I don't know, he really wanted dogs. I really hope to get over it though. I really want to be able to like dogs like my friends do, and I don't know, it seems people have a really close bond with dogs, and that's something that I could never really experience myself because of what happened. I get like made fun of a little bit, like, oh, why are you afraid of dogs? Or like people try and like force their dogs at me a lot because they think their dogs are so nice, and it's kind of like, oh, I don't want to see your dog, and people get really offended by that. And I don't mean to offend anybody, obviously, but it's kind of like, look, something bad happened to me, it scared the crap out of me, and the fact that you just want to like shove your dog at me doesn't make me feel nice. It makes me feel scared, and it makes me feel like you don't care about what happened to me.
Back from the dog park, how do you feel?
It was actually really fun. I got to meet Lola. I'm less afraid than I was, but Lola's a pretty small dog, kind of like my cat, so it wasn't too bad. I still feel like I'm going to be a little cautious around like bigger dogs. I'm sure this is going to make my friends really happy, because now instead of them having to put their dog in their crate all the time, I can, let them roam around the house a little bit, right? Momo. I mean, this dog is honestly a cat, so I think it's fine.
And welcome back to the journal. We just watched Charlotte's journey to confront and overcome her fear of dogs. What are we watching next, Chantelle?
Up next is a story of an Iranian refugee who managed to escape the fate that's so often faced by non-religious people in the Islamic Republic of Iran. Let's take a look.
Between the third world countries and like first world countries, there's like a heaven and hell. Hello, my name is Arash. I'm from Iran and I'm from Tehran, which is capital of Iran. I'm non-religious person and I'm against the regime of Iran. There's like so much suffering that they go through because they don't believe in religion or they are against the regime of Iran. So my parents kind of been like worried about me being like tortured or being captured by government of Iran. I was thinking that the first world countries are the countries who are like heaven, who are like, they having their life with like a high quality and with comfort. That was like my idea and my vision as a teenager. I need to go to those countries if I want to have like a good quality life, if be human, have like freedom and stuff. When I was in Iran, I got a call from the cyber police of Iran that says, yeah, you are accused by offending the Prophet Muhammad and Islam. They're gonna arrest you to the court. You could be like in prison. And they threatened me that I was posting about, I was criticizing the regime of Iran and also some Islamic rules. I was seeing that it was like against what is like human rights and what is like people as a human deserve. I just had a ticket to go to Canada. I had $80 Canadian and I had $60 USA. And I started to study English in Centennial College. What happened was our economy crashed because of Trump sanctions and our currency value dropped by 3 times. As international students, your tuition fee is like 3 times, 4 times higher than like domestic person. There's no help from the government. There's no OSAP or any such thing. My parents didn't have any money to support me and I was threatened by the government of Iran. I couldn't stay and I couldn't go. So what I decided was I got a letter from government that it says like you have your hearing. They're gonna ask you like questions about your case of the refugee. That's like all of your life that depends on like a few hours of like judgments of one person. And I was talking on the phone before I go to the like judge with my parents and they like wished me luck or they're gonna like remove you from Canada and your life will be in danger. So I went there and I got accepted. So you can apply for permanent residency and you can have your work permit. I end up applying for cash money. Like when you are in that position that you are in the worst situation and you don't have nothing to lose, you can do everything because you don't scare of shit.
Wow, what an unimaginable story that showcases the power of documentary. Through documentaries, we're able to connect, understand, and empathize in a world that desperately needs our engagement and compassion.
Well said, Marvin. Up next, we have a profile on Toronto-based film scholar Cori Chapman. Let's take a look.
Classes.
I wasn't recording! No!
There, that's just between the director and the star. I finished my grad applications, so I applied to York and Concordia for grad studies to do a master's in cinema and media studies. Yeah. I ideally would like to write a thesis on sexual assault and sexual violence in films directed by women. Not the happy-go-lucky thesis that you really want to write. But yeah, I've just been watching a lot of different movies that have been coming out in the past few years, directed by women, and how they choose to frame sexual assault and sexual violence, especially with omitting nudity, I think is really interesting. This is super lame, so you don't have to use this. I have a very boring life, and so it's just a distraction from the mundanity of day-to-day life. But also, I just didn't know that this could be a career, that people could just like sit around and talk about movies and pat themselves on the back for being so clever and theorizing and being academic about film. I just thought it was just so weird. In the middle of a sociology degree, I just happened to take a film course, and I was like, oh, people just sit around talking about Sunrise, the Song of Two Humans. That was the first movie I watched in academia, in film academia. It was just very strange. So I just thought it was like so kooky that I'm like, I could do that. I could ramble about movies. From Sundance. It's like still there with the airline tag still on it. They'll make me take it off when I go to Berlin. But what's the point of unpacking from Sundance to Berlin? They are so close together. So I will be headed to Berlin on February 17th to intern at the 70th Berlinale. But yeah, program film festivals and any film festival, and just travel to other film festivals and just get to see just all the stuff that no one gets to see potentially, and to be able to make those decisions of what gets programmed and what doesn't. Because I think that there's so much good content out there that there has to be stuff that just no one gets to see or no one thinks to program, and I just want to make sure that all the best stuff is out there in the world, which is just very self-righteous, but
I think it's noble.
as is such with artists.
Welcome back to the journal. Now we're on to our final story for this episode.
Do you like warm, gooey, fresh out of the oven chocolate chip cookies? Well, you're in luck, because we have the perfect recipe for you.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm starving. I think I'm gonna go bake some cookies.
Great idea, Marvin. We hope you enjoyed today's episode of The Journal, and make sure to tune in next week. I'm Chantelle Singer.
And I'm Marvin Roux. Stay home and stay safe. We'll see you soon.